My friends, life will not always hand you gentle breezes and warm sunlight. There will be storms so fierce that you will doubt the strength of your own foundation. But let me tell you this: your spirit was not made to crumble. It was made to rise, to bend but not break, to withstand the weight of 1,000 trials and still whisper, "I will not give up." Building mental toughness is not about denying the pain. It is about looking pain in the eye and saying, "You will not define me." It is learning to dance even when the music is gone, and to keep singing even when your voice trembles. It is knowing that every setback is a lesson dressed in disguise, waiting for you to find the wisdom it carries. Toughness is born when you face the truth of who you are, your fears, your flaws, your dreams, and still decide to keep going. It is not about being fearless, but about having the courage to move forward even when fear sits beside you. Your spirit was made to rise, not crumble. Life will place stones in your path, heavy enough to make your steps falter, but within you lives a force that refuses to stay down. It is a quiet, burning strength that whispers to you even in your darkest moments, telling you that the story isn't over, that you still have chapters to write. You were not born to surrender to the weight of life's trials. You were born to rise above them, to stand taller with every fall, and to keep reaching for the light even when the skies are gray. Pain will come, and it will test the limits of your heart and mind. But pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It will shape you, stretch you, and show you who you truly are. When storms rage, do not run from them. Face them with a steady gaze and a steady heart, because the storm is not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you for the sun that follows. Mental toughness is built in those moments when you feel like you cannot continue, but choose to take one more step anyway. Every choice to keep going becomes a brick in the foundation of your strength. Setbacks are not signs of failure. They are opportunities in disguise, hidden lessons waiting to be uncovered. Each time you fall, you learn something about yourself that you did not know before. You discover the depth of your resilience, the power of your determination, and the unshakable truth that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Challenges are not walls meant to stop you. They are doors meant to be opened by persistence and courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is carrying fear on your back and saying, "You will not stop me." To build mental toughness, you must learn to embrace discomfort. Growth never comes from what is easy. It comes from stretching beyond the familiar, stepping into the unknown, and trusting that you will find your way even when the path is unclear. Life will demand that you dig deeper than you thought possible, that you push past the limits you believed defined you. When everything around you tells you to quit, that is when you must remind yourself that strength is born in the moments when giving up would be easier, but rising feels necessary. There will be days when the road feels endless, when the weight of your struggles seems impossible to carry. But remember this: each challenge is a chance to build a stronger version of yourself. The most unbreakable spirits are not those who have avoided pain, but those who have walked through it, scarred but unshaken. Your power does not come from never being knocked down, it comes from refusing to stay there. The fire inside you is far greater than any storm outside of you. Strength is forged in fire, and so is character. When life tests you, meet it with grace, patience, and unwavering belief in your ability to endure. Your mind is a fortress when you choose to fill it with hope instead of doubt, with determination instead of despair. Toughness is not built in a single day, but in every small moment you decide to rise instead of break. Pain does not define you. Pain is something you experience, something that passes through you, but it is not who you are. Too often, people allow their suffering to become their identity, wearing it like a label that cannot be removed. But pain is not your name. It is not the total of your existence. It is a chapter, a season, a moment that is meant to teach you, not to define the rest of your story. You are more than the hurts you have endured. You are more than the tears you have cried or the nights you thought you would never see the dawn. Pain may shape you, but it does not own you. There is a strength that pain reveals, a strength you might not have known you had until you were tested. Pain is often the fire that forges resilience. It shows you the depth of your endurance and the power of your spirit. While the world may see your scars as signs of weakness, they are proof of your survival. Every scar, visible or not, tells a story of a battle fought and won. Pain may slow you down, but it cannot take away the will to rise unless you hand that power over to it. Pain is not your master, it is a teacher. It teaches you empathy, it teaches you patience, and it teaches you how to appreciate joy when it returns. The danger lies in believing that pain is permanent. When you attach your identity to your suffering, you forget that it is meant to be temporary. Pain is like a storm, fierce, consuming, and overwhelming when it arrives. But storms do not last forever. Just as the sky clears after the rain, so too does your spirit heal with time, effort, and self-compassion. You cannot rush healing, but you can refuse to let pain become the lens through which you see yourself. Healing begins when you accept that you are more than what has happened to you, that your worth has never been diminished by your suffering. Pain also brings clarity. It forces you to look inward and ask who you really are when everything comfortable has been stripped away. It teaches you to rebuild, not just your circumstances, but your inner self. Pain asks you to find meaning in your struggle and to rise from it with a new sense of purpose. It can open doors to understanding and strength that were once hidden. But this transformation only happens when you decide that pain will not define the rest of your life. You are not the brokenness you feel. You are the person who has the power to rise from it. It is easy to see pain as something that takes away, but it can also give. It gives perspective on what truly matters, on who truly stands with you, and on the resilience you never knew you carried. The moments when you thought you would never make it through become the proof that you can endure. Pain has a way of stripping life down to its essence, leaving behind what is real, what is valuable, and what cannot be taken away. It may leave its marks on you, but those marks are not chains. They are reminders of what you overcame. You are not your pain. You are not the disappointment, the heartbreak, or the loss you have experienced. You are not defined by what hurt you, but by how you choose to rise from it. When you begin to see pain as something separate from who you are, you begin to reclaim your power. You are the light that still shines through the cracks, the strength that still stands despite the weight of everything you have endured. Every setback carries a hidden lesson. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expect. A setback often comes suddenly, disrupting the plans we have carefully made, and it feels like the world is pushing us backward just when we thought we were moving forward. Yet, within every disappointment, every closed door, and every unexpected obstacle, there is something valuable waiting to be discovered. Setbacks are not simply barriers. They are mirrors that reflect who we are, what we value, and what we are capable of enduring. They demand that we pause, reflect, and search for the wisdom that lies beneath the surface of the struggle. When we face a setback, the immediate instinct is to view it as failure. We question ourselves, our choices, and sometimes even our worth. It is easy to believe that setbacks are a sign we are not good enough or that our dreams are too far beyond our reach. But every great achievement in history has been shaped by moments of failure, moments when giving up would have been easier than continuing. Setbacks are not an indication that you are on the wrong path. They are an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. They test your determination and your willingness to rise again. The lessons hidden in setbacks often reveal themselves slowly. They are not always obvious when you are in the middle of the storm. It is only when you take a step back and look at the situation with clarity that you begin to see what it was trying to teach you. Sometimes, a setback forces you to let go of what no longer serves you, to rethink your approach, or to see possibilities you would have otherwise ignored. It can show you the strength of your character, the depth of your patience, and the importance of perseverance. It teaches you that success is not a straight line, but a winding road filled with detours that ultimately shape your journey. A setback also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how well you plan, life will still have its surprises. It shows you that strength does not come from avoiding failure, but from learning how to navigate through it. When you embrace setbacks as teachers instead of enemies, you begin to approach challenges differently. You no longer see them as signs to stop, but as opportunities to reassess, refocus, and grow. Each time you face a setback, you are building the mental toughness and emotional resilience that will carry you through even greater challenges ahead. Setbacks also encourage creativity. When the original plan no longer works, you are forced to think differently, to find new ways to move forward. Some of the greatest breakthroughs are born from moments of failure, when the familiar path is no longer available, and you are pushed to create a new one. The discomfort of a setback can ignite a fire within you, driving you to prove to yourself that you can overcome anything, that you can rise even when everything feels uncertain. Every setback carries a hidden lesson about who you truly are. It reveals the strength you did not know you had, the courage you did not know you could summon, and the determination that refuses to let you quit. It challenges you to rise above fear and self-doubt, to keep moving even when the road is unclear. In the process, you begin to see that setbacks are not roadblocks but stepping stones, shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, to uncertainty, and to the possibility of failure. It whispers reasons to stay where you are, to avoid risk, to choose the familiar even when it no longer serves you. Fear is not the absence of strength. It is a reminder that something meaningful is at stake. The presence of fear does not mean you are weak. It means you are standing on the edge of growth, about to step into something greater than what you have known. Courage is the choice to move anyway, to take a step forward even when your hands tremble and your heart races. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means understanding that fear will always be there when you are about to do something that matters. Every dream worth chasing, every goal worth achieving, comes with fear attached to it. Courage is the voice that tells you to act regardless of that fear. It is the strength that pushes you to take the first step when the path ahead is unclear. Fear wants you to stay safe, to stay small, but courage invites you to grow, to expand, and to discover who you can become when you refuse to let fear hold you back. Moving forward despite fear often means stepping out of your comfort zone. It is easier to stay in places where everything feels predictable and controlled, but growth never happens there. To achieve something extraordinary, you have to be willing to face the discomfort of the unknown. Courage is what allows you to walk into uncertainty with faith that you will find your way. It is what gives you the strength to try, even if success is not guaranteed. Without courage, fear wins, and fear thrives on keeping you stuck where you are. Courage is also about resilience. It is not just about taking one bold step. It is about continuing to take steps even after you stumble. Fear grows stronger each time you let it stop you, but each time you face it head on, you weaken its grip. Every time you choose to move despite fear, you build confidence. You begin to see that fear is not an immovable wall, but a shadow that shrinks when you confront it. The more you practice courage, the more natural it becomes to act even when fear is present. Courage also requires trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, and trust in the process of life. It is knowing that you may not have all the answers, but you have what it takes to figure things out along the way. Fear will tell you that you need to have everything planned perfectly before you begin, but courage tells you to start where you are, with what you have. It is the willingness to take imperfect steps, to risk failure, and to keep going no matter what obstacles arise. Courage is not only about grand acts of bravery. It is also found in the quiet, everyday choices to show up and keep moving when life feels heavy. It is in the decision to try again after a setback, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes, to keep believing in your vision even when no one else does. Courage is what transforms fear from a barrier into a guide, showing you where you need to go, where you have room to grow, and where your strength is waiting to be discovered. Strength is forged in life's hottest fires. It is during the moments of greatest difficulty, when everything feels as though it is falling apart, that true resilience is born. Life has a way of testing us with challenges that seem unbearable, pushing us to our breaking points and forcing us to confront pain, fear, and uncertainty. These moments feel like fire, unrelenting and consuming, yet, just as metal is strengthened and shaped in flames, our character and inner power are molded during life's toughest trials. Strength does not come from an easy life. It comes from surviving the storms that try to tear you apart. The fire of life is not meant to destroy you, though at times it may feel that way. It is there to strip away what is unnecessary, to burn off the parts of you that no longer serve your growth, and to reveal the core of who you are. In the middle of hardships, when the heat is intense and the weight of challenges feels too heavy, it is easy to believe that you cannot go on. But it is precisely in these moments that your true power is uncovered. Every challenge you face teaches you something about your own endurance, about your ability to rise even when the odds are stacked against you. Strength is not built when things are easy and comfortable. It is built when you are forced to fight through the chaos, when you are called to rise after every fall, and when you learn to keep going even when the road ahead is uncertain. Pain and difficulty shape you, not by breaking you, but by revealing how much you can withstand. The hottest fires of life refine you, transforming your pain into wisdom, your struggle into determination, and your fear into courage. It is natural to want to avoid the fires of life. We crave comfort, stability, and peace. But it is often through discomfort and challenge that we discover who we truly are. The trials you face are not signs of weakness, but opportunities to grow stronger. Each time you rise from a difficult situation, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you once believed. Strength is not a gift you are handed. It is a quality you earn by enduring and overcoming. Life's hottest fires also teach humility and patience. When you are tested, you learn to value the small victories, the quiet moments of progress, and the strength you gain in silence. Fire forces you to slow down, to reflect, and to rebuild from the ground up. It teaches you that resilience is not about avoiding pain, but about embracing it, learning from it, and using it to shape a stronger version of yourself. The scars you carry from these moments are not marks of defeat, but evidence of survival, of having walked through fire and emerged transformed. Strength forged in fire is lasting because it is real. It does not depend on external validation or circumstances. It comes from knowing that you have faced your darkest moments and still found the will to keep moving. It comes from the realization that every difficulty you have endured has prepared you for something greater. The fire may burn, but it also purifies, leaving behind a version of you that is unshakable, grounded, and unafraid of what lies ahead. Mental toughness grows with every choice to rise. It is not something you are simply born with, but something that is built day by day, decision by decision. Every time life knocks you down, you are given a choice, to stay on the ground or to stand back up. Each time you choose to rise, you strengthen the muscles of your mind and spirit. Mental toughness is not forged in moments of ease or comfort, but in those moments when everything inside you wants to quit, yet you take another step forward. It is built in the quiet, relentless determination to keep going when nothing seems to be going your way. Life will test you with obstacles that feel insurmountable. There will be days when the weight of your challenges feels too heavy to carry, and you will question whether you have what it takes to keep moving. In those moments, mental toughness is not about denying the difficulty or pretending the pain does not exist. It is about acknowledging the struggle, but refusing to let it define you. It is about making the decision to keep showing up, to keep pushing through the discomfort, no matter how slow or small the progress may seem. Mental toughness grows when you stop seeing failure as an end point and start seeing it as a stepping stone. Every setback you face holds within it the opportunity to grow stronger, to learn something about yourself that you didn't know before. It teaches you that falling is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey to success. Each time you get back up after a setback, you build resilience. You train your mind to see challenges as temporary, to understand that no matter how many times you fall, there is always another chance to rise. This toughness is also nurtured in the way you speak to yourself. The words you tell yourself in moments of difficulty matter more than anything else. Mental toughness grows when you replace self-doubt with belief, when you choose to focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot. It is the inner voice that says, "I will not give up," even when everything around you is urging you to do so. Each time you silence that voice of fear and negativity and take action anyway, you add another layer to your strength. Discipline is at the heart of mental toughness. It is the daily choice to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is waking up early, showing up, and giving your best effort, not because it is easy, but because you know the reward lies on the other side of persistence. Mental toughness grows when you are willing to put in the work, to embrace discomfort, and to keep moving forward even when results are not immediate. It is the habit of consistency that sharpens your mind and strengthens your resolve. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to practice this toughness. It is not something that happens all at once, but something that grows with each decision you make to keep going. Over time, you begin to see that mental toughness is not about being unbreakable, but about becoming unshackable. It is about choosing to rise, again and again, no matter how many times life tries to knock you down. With every choice to rise, you shape a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, one that can endure, adapt, and thrive in the face of anything.